Hello friends, welcome to the video lecture series of the subject Operation Research. In this particular lecture, we will study about how to draw the network diagram in project management. So as you can see, the data that is given to you, in a project there are several activities. So here the whole project is divided into small activities, and then after the completion of all the activities, the whole of the project is completed. So here whole project is divided into activities, small activities, that is up from A to G. So which are listed in the following table along with the predecessor activities. Now draw the network diagram for the given data. So this table is given to you. There are activity A, B, C, D, E, F and G. So there are total 7 activities for which we will have to draw the network diagram, and at the same time opposite to the activity the predecessor activities are given. So what is predecessor activities? That we will see when we will draw the diagram. So let us begin how to draw the network diagram for the given data. So first of all, let us start drawing the network. Activity A, activity B, activity C. So you can see now activity A, opposite to that predecessor activity is none, and for activity B also the predecessor activity is none. So both the activities are independent. It means that it doesn't depend on any activity. So those two activities are independent. It doesn't depend on any other activity. So this is activity A and activity B. Now further moving forward towards the activity C. So opposite to activity C there is a predecessor activity A. So now what does this mean? It means activity C will only start when the activity A has been completed. Here we have drawn activity A and activity B. Both are independent, so we have drawn separately. It doesn't depend on any other predecessor activity, because you can see from the table that is given, the predecessor for the activity A is none, for B also it is none. So we will have to draw that as an independent activity. Now coming to the activity C, the predecessor activity is A. That means you can start activity C then and then when activity A has been completed. So here you can see in the network activity A is completed over here. Now this C activity depends on A, means after the completion of activity A, now we can start activity C. So I have drawn this activity C. From this you can see, okay, here the activity A is completed, then and then after you can start activity C. So it is dependent on completion of activity A. Now coming to the activity D, same predecessor activity, you will have to check what is the predecessor activity over there. Again it is also dependent on A. So you can bring this out from activity A and you can name this as an activity D. Now you can see here that C and D activities are having predecessor, that is A activity. So that means activity C and D are dependent on the completion of activity A. You can start activity C and D then and then only when activity A has been completed. So here you can see activity A is completed over here. Then after only you can start activity C and D. So that two activities comes out from here, and you can see that it is dependent on completion of activity A. So C and D both are dependent on activity A. Now for activity E, predecessor is B. So that means activity E is also dependent on the completion of activity B. So you can draw like this. Activity E can be started then and then only when activity B has been completed. So you can see over here activity B is completed over here. From that activity E emerges out. Similarly, for activity F, that depends on the completion of activity C. So you can see from the diagram, activity C is completed over here. So from that you can now you can take out the activity F. And now from G, you can see activity G has two predecessor activities. Activity G has two predecessor activities. That means it depends on the completion of two activities, and that is D and E. So from the diagram you can see that here activity D and E are completing over here. After the completion of activity D and E, you can start activity G. So from this both they are merging over here, and from that you can take out the activity G. So that is like this. So now you can see the network diagram that you have drawn, that is completed. Here the predecessor activity plays very important role. This activity A, B, C, D, E, F and G, those are called successor activities. Means after A, activity B will take place. After B, activity C will take place. After D, activity E will take place. After E, activity F will take place. And after F, activity G will take place. But predecessor activity means what? Any activity that is dependent on others' completion, that is called predecessor activity. As you can see over here, activity C has predecessor activity A. That means C activity can only be started after the completion of activity A. Similarly, for activity E, what does predecessor activity B means? It means only after the completion of activity B you can start the activity E. So you should take care about these predecessor activities, and accordingly you will have to draw the diagram. Now these circles or rounds are called nodes, and the arrow over which we will write the activity name. Upon this arrow I have written the activity A name. So upon the arrow we will have to write the names of activities. Now we will have to give the number to these nodes that we had seen in our previous lecture, how to number the nodes. So for each activity there will be one tail and one head. So for activity A, right now I am discussing about activity A. Okay. So for activity A, we are having, this is a tail of this activity, and the arrow, that is called the head. So the tail will always have the lower number as compared to the head of the activity. This is tail and this is head. So tail will have the lowest number and head will have always the highest number. This numbering can be done randomly, but what you need to keep in mind is always the tail of the activity should have the lowest number. You can number in any way, but for each activity its tail should have the lowest number and its head will have the higher number. Let us see over here, while I have numbered these nodes, how for activity A you can say it is denoted by 1 to 2. So here the tail is having lower number, that is 1, and here the head, that is having higher number, that is 2. Let us take an example of activity G. Here the tail is having lower number, that is 4, and head of that activity G, that is having higher number, that is 6. Similarly for this activity D, you can see its tail is having the lower number, that is 2, and higher number, that is 4. So this is how the nodes can be numbered. It can be numbered randomly, but for that particular activity for which you are giving the numbering, for this activity E, you can see activity E, for each activity there will be one tail and there will be one head. Means there will be one starting point and one end point. So its starting point will always have lower number as compared to its head. Head will have always the higher number. So this is how the network is drawn. Let us take one more example. This is all about the solution, about the network diagram for this particular example. Let us go to the second example. we are having second example for the same, how to draw the network diagram. So the data is given to you. Okay, for the given network diagram, draw a network for the simple project of erection of steel works for a shed. The various activities of the project are as under. So what is the task? You are supposed to have a project in which you are supposed to do the erection of steel works for a shed. एक शेड आपको बनाना है और उसके लिए you will have to erect some steel works. So there are various activities in which the project is divided, that is given in the table that is shown below. So these all are the activities in which the project is divided. Its description is given, and at the opposite side its predecessor activities are given. So for activity A, what is the description? Erect site workshop. Yes. So activity A is having no predecessor activity. Similarly for activity B, its description is fence side. Predecessor activity is none. For activity C, the description is band reinforcement. It's having predecessor activity as A. For activity D, description is dig foundation and predecessor is B. For activity E, the description is fabricate steelwork. It is having predecessor activity A. For F, it is having description install concrete pillars. Predecessor is B. For G, predecessor activities C and D. For activity H, description is concrete foundation and predecessor activities G and F. For activity I, description is erect steel work, predecessor by activity E. Then activity J, paint steel work. It is having predecessor activity H and I. And activity K, give finishing touch. It is having predecessor activity J. So in a network diagram, what you need to keep in mind is always you need to take care of predecessor activity. Means activity which depends on others completion. That is called predecessor activity. So keep that in mind and accordingly draw the network diagram. So now let us again start drawing the network diagram. For activity A, there is no predecessor, so it is independent, and similarly activity B is also having no predecessor. So those two activities are independent. It does not depend on others. So this is about activity A. Similarly, activity B is also independent. Now coming to the activity C. Now it is having a predecessor activity A. Means it is dependent on the completion of activity A. Only after the completion of activity A you can start activity C. See, network diagram can be drawn by their own knowledge. They can draw in any way. But what are the things that you must keep in mind is a network diagram will always have one starting point and one end point. There should not be crossing of the arrows over each other. In the network diagram, there should not be crossing of arrows unless the situation is very much troublesome. So take care that network diagram, the arrows that you are drawing, that should be not crossing over each other. Then those arrows should not bend, means it should be straight. Now activity C is dependent on the completion of activity A. So I can draw like this. This is activity C. Now D is dependent on the completion of B. So here you can draw, for example, this is activity D. Now activity E is again dependent on the completion of activity A. So you can draw like this also. This is activity E. Now coming to the activity F. Again activity F is dependent on the completion of activity B. So activity F is dependent on completion of activity B. So I am drawing this separately. This is activity F. Now coming to the activity G. Now that is dependent on the completion of two activities. It is having two predecessor activities, that is C and D. So for activity G to start, what are the two activities that E is dependent on? So it is dependent on the completion of activity C and D. Then and then after activity G can be started. So now what I am doing is joining D activity with C with the help of dummy, and I am bringing out the activity G. This is activity G. So this is G, which comes out after the completion of C and D. This is dummy activity 1, which is just used for proper balancing of the network diagram. It does not consume any time. It is just for proper balancing or meeting our requirements. We are just adding dummy activity, and it will not affect any final solution answer. So we are joining these two activities. It does not consume any time. So we are joining dummy with the help of dummy activity C and D. This means after the completion of C and D, activity G can be started. Now for activity H, that again depends on the completion of activity G and F. So here you can see, here activity F is completed and here activity G is completed. So after this completion of this G and F, activity H can be started. So what I will do now, I will again join these two activities with the help of dummy activity that is shown by dotted lines, and I will name it over as a dummy activity 2. Then after, what does it shows? Okay, this F is been extended till the G. So here G and F both are completed, and from that activity H will start. So this is activity H. Now coming to the activity I. So that depends on the completion of activity E. So here you can see activity E is already completed over here, and that depends on I. So activity I now depends on the completion of activity E. So here you can see activity E is already completed, and then after you can start the activity I, because it is dependent on the completion of activity E. So now from E you are extending the activity that is I. Now comes activity J. So you can see activity J has predecessor activity H and I. That means after the completion of activity H and I, then and then only you can start the activity J. So it is dependent on the completion of H and I. Activity J is dependent on predecessor, that is H and I. So again I will draw with the help of dummy line. I will join this both the activities H and I. This is dummy activity 3, and then comes out activity J. And last we are having activity that is activity K. That depends on the completion of activity J. So here you can see here activity J is already completed. Now comes activity K, and it is having a predecessor activity J. Means activity K is dependent on the completion of activity J. So here you can see activity J is already completed over here. Now you can start the activity K. So this is how the network is constructed for the given data. Now again we will start numbering the network as per the rules that we had discussed, how to number the network or these nodes. This rounded is called nodes. This round is called nodes. So starting with the numbering, this is 1, this is 2. Each activity has one tail and one head. Okay, so tail will always have lower number and head will have always the higher number. but numbering can be done randomly. One thing you should keep in mind, its activity having tail will have the lower number and its head will have the higher number. That's it. About the numbering, that thing you should keep in mind. 3, you can number anywhere, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Here I have, okay, you can number any number over here. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. For example, there is a mistake. This is 4, this is 5, this is 6, this is 7, this is 8, this is 9, this is 10, this is 11, and this is 12. So this is how the numbering is done. There was a mistake over here, so this is 1, 2. It's for any activity, it is having a tail and head. Its tail should have lower number, its head should have higher number. That is the simple logic of numbering the nodes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is 9, this is 10, this is 11, this is 12, so this is all about how to construct a network diagram. Thank you.